Now, there is huge anger this morning. Nearly all of the front pages this morning reporting on a Downing Street garden party, which apparently was held during lockdown. It's alleged that 100 staff were invited to basically bring their own booze, and it's claimed that Boris Johnson and his wife Carrie were among those attending. Well, Paul Brand from ITV News, who broke that story, joins me now. Paul, I just don't understand the thought process of Martin Reynolds, who's the PM's private secretary, at that time, if we can, go back to remember what it was like at that time, to send an email that was kind of like, hey, the weather's lovely, let's all get together, bring your own booze, it'll be great. It's astonishing, isn't it?
Yeah, morning, Lorraine. It is the tone of the email, I think,
Yes.
isn't it, that's particularly astonishing. We were all being told you can only meet in twos outdoors, and here they were in Downing Street meeting in their tens. In fact, it was at least 100 people within number 10 who were invited to this party. And look, other parties have been dismissed, haven't they, as, it's a business meeting or jokes about wine and cheese. Well, there's no excusing this one, because we all remember lockdown 1.0, and we all remember what was allowed, because it was virtually nothing that was allowed. You couldn't go to the hospital to see your loved one if they were sick. You couldn't go and sit in your granny's garden, and you certainly couldn't invite 100 of your work colleagues to come around for a drink with your granny too, which is essentially what happened here. This is the kind of party that they had in number 10. And what's really, really important is that number 10 aren't denying this. Yes, you'll hear them say today, oh, well, we can't comment while there's an internal investigation. But in the world of Westminster riddles, which I have to sort of navigate day to day, a non-denial means there is truth to this story. The Prime Minister had a party and he went himself.
Paul, it's very interesting that they are hiding behind this investigation. I mean, for goodness sake, you and I could do the investigation in half an hour. Did you send that email? Did you go to that party? Yes or no? That's it. End of. Why do you need to have an investigation that rumbles on and gives them an excuse to hide behind that? It's infuriating.
Yeah, and there's huge pressure as well, Lorraine, this morning on the Metropolitan Police, because you'll know that so far they have resisted any kind of investigation. They've said that they will take into account the internal investigation if there's sort of proof of criminal wrongdoing here. But all along they've said, look, there's not enough evidence. We don't look back at retrospective breaking of the rules. Well, now they are actually in contact this morning, the police, with the Cabinet Office. So this is a really interesting development here, because it looks as though the police are taking this one far more seriously than they have done the other parties. And there will be massive, massive questions about whether the police are going to investigate or not.
It's that thing of when trust goes, it's really difficult. I mean, we've had all of this all along. We had it back with Dominic Cummings and his eyes and all the rest of it, and all that nonsense. It was ridiculous. And it seems to have never stopped. And, it's actually really dangerous, because if people think, oh, they're not bothering, so why should I? You're actually putting people's lives at risk. It's as serious as that.
Yeah, and Boris Johnson so far has managed to kind of try and keep things at arm's length, whether you find his denials plausible or not. He said, about the video the other week, remember, back in December, about Downing Street staff joking about a party. He said, look, I was shocked by that. I was appalled by that. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. Well, was he that surprised if he himself went to a Downing Street garden party? This time, the accusations really are at his own doorstep here. It's much harder for him to brush this one away. And I don't know, sack Dominic Cummings, blame Dominic Cummings, or whoever else is now going to take the fall for this particular garden party. This is about whether Boris Johnson himself broke the rules. And as you say, where's the trust? He's leading the country. Can he really expect us to continue taking care around Omicron, for example, if he was showing a lack of care right at the start of the pandemic when we were all really, really worried about it?
No, exactly. We did ask them for a right to reply, but they didn't respond. Do you think he's going to get away with it again?
Well, look, I think we need to watch it closely today, Lorraine, because he's going to face questions, I would anticipate, in the Commons. If not today, then certainly at Prime Minister's questions tomorrow. What is his response going to be? There's going to be huge pressure on him to give evidence to this internal inquiry that's going on, if he hasn't already. And that really will just be the start of these questions. And look, you're watching pictures of him yesterday, kind of smiling and smirking about it. I think he's going to have to get his tone right on this one now, Lorraine. He can't afford to laugh this one off. It is incredibly serious for him. The questions are going to start, and I really, really can't see this time what his answer is going to be.
No, neither can I. Paul, thank you. Brilliant journalism. Thank you very much indeed for joining us this morning. Really appreciate it. And I'm sure you remember what you were doing that time. Well, our Dr Amir was working on the front line at the time of this alleged party and joins me now. So here we are again.
Yeah. Morning, Lorraine. It's like deja vu, isn't it? I do remember what I was doing on that May 2020. We had set up one of our practice sites as a red hub, and I was doing shifts there assessing patients with COVID-type symptoms to see whether they could be kept at home and managed there or whether they needed hospital admissions. And I did come home to my own garden to kind of relieve the stress of that working day, but I was very much, on my own. I wasn't inviting other people over. And in May at that time, 363 people lost their lives after testing positive for COVID. And this isn't about me. This is about everyone. This is about the people who couldn't be with their loved ones as they lay dying in hospital, who couldn't visit their relatives in care homes, who had to cancel their wedding plans, who couldn't attend funerals, children who lost out on education, everybody who stayed at home for the benefit of the greater good. It's about all of us. And it goes back to that trust. We all played our part, and we expect people who are leading us through this pandemic to play their part as well, particularly if you're giving out public health messages, which are really, really important for people to stick to in order to save lives. And it just undermines all of that.
No, it really does. I mean, to be honest, I wouldn't be surprised if we hear that, they had a masked gala ball for 1,000 people in the Houses of Parliament. We would kind of think, oh, yeah, we wouldn't be... Nothing surprises us now. This is the trouble. And it's that thing, you're absolutely right. You lose that trust, you can't get that back. It's impossible to get that back.
No, you can't. And the emails suggest, the people working at Number 10 were working extremely hard and they deserve these drinks. The NHS, frontline workers, people who are delivering food to people, all of those people who kept the country going and the economy going through that really tough time in the pandemic were working exceptionally hard. And I know many hospitals don't even have common rooms where workers can go and just take a break from frontline work, or hospitals don't have gardens where they can go outdoors. And many people come home to one-bedroom flats and can't go outdoors as well. So that excuse just doesn't wash with me at all.
No, it doesn't. You're absolutely right. It is that, again, one rule for them, one rule for us. And you must be angry, but at the same time, you're weary, actually. I think all of us are a bit weary of it all.
Yeah, I think I'm beyond anger now. Yeah. The sad thing is, this email, as distressing as it is, isn't a surprise, and I think what everybody wants, when somebody's done something wrong, allegedly, I have to say, you throw your hands up and you apologize. You don't deny it. You don't hide behind things. You just have to be a grown-up and apologize. And I think that's what's missing in all of this.
Exactly. You don't need an inquiry to say whether or not you were at something. We don't need an inquiry to find out whether or not you're actually working today. You are. That's it. That's it.
Yeah.
Amir, thank you. As always, thank you very much indeed. Talk to you real soon. Don't forget, you can watch full episodes of Lorraine on the ITV Hub and all the best clips, compilations and playlists right here on our channel. Just subscribe now and you'll never miss an upload. Click here to watch another video similar to this one, or click here to head to our channel's homepage to explore all of our exciting videos.